Hello and welcome back to another video. This is a response to the Awesome Gamer. If you're not aware of his channel, I'll leave a link down below. Definitely worth checking out. Really interesting to hear his views, especially as he's from a younger generation. He's got a fantastic Vectrex collection. Well worth taking a look. So, that being said, he's asked 5 random questions and I'm going to attempt to answer them. So the first one is oldest gaming memory. Now, I'm not sure how to answer this because I think probably the oldest gaming memory was probably something like Lunar Lander on the VIC-20. I had a friend who had a VIC-20 and then he later upgraded to the Commodore 64, so I played a lot of games there. But I also used to go over to some people who lived over the road. They used to look after us when my mum went to work and some holidays or whatever, and they had a Spectrum. And I was sort of, left to just play whatever games I wanted to play on this Spectrum. And they had a massive box full. And they had this game called First Past the Post, and I was hooked. It was just a horse racing simulation, if you like. You just put your money on what horse you wanted to win. You had a certain amount to start off with, and had to see if you could make a load. And it was just really addictive. I loved that. There was also a 3D Ant one. I think it might have been called 3D Ant Maze. That was crazy. But yeah, they're definitely of that era, the first gaming memories. But probably the VIC-20 Lunar Lander to go a long way around it. Now, worst gaming experience. I think the ultimate low of gaming for me was when I was upstairs playing Lost, the video game on the Xbox 360, whilst having the playing through on YouTube just so I could complete it to get the achievement points. It was probably the worst 7 or 8 hours of gaming time I've ever had, and I would never recommend doing that. Perhaps that's the reason I got so off put by the Xbox 360. As well as all the other things that go with it, But I'll leave that for another video. So, favourite movie from 2013, 2014. I actually have watched a few movies recently, and my favourite is Gravity, which I watched the other week. I'm a big fan of space, and I just thought it was interesting. It was funny in place. It was just my kind of movie. It didn't take itself too seriously, but the special effects were fantastic, and I just enjoyed watching it. The sound and everything. It was just an easy to watch movie, so I'm going to say that. Now, next question is, when did you start collecting? This is quite difficult for me to answer because I've always been, since I got my Mega Drive, I had consoles before it, but since I got my Mega Drive, I've always kept my system and quite a large amount of games, probably 30 or 40 games, as well as my Game Boy stuff. I never got rid of any of that, so maybe that was the start of collecting. That would have been the early 90s. But when I got back into collecting, really when, because a lot of people will say, oh, I've always been a collector even before YouTube, but I don't really class myself as that because before YouTube I probably had 80 games, multiple platforms, Game Boy, Mega Drive, Xbox 360, and I would do like everyone else did, I'd usually trade my more modern system, but like I say, I always kept the Mega Drive and Game Boy, so I probably had about 80 games. Now I've got about 250, so since getting on YouTube I've certainly become more of a collector, so you can look at it either way. If you're going to think about when I come on YouTube, it was probably about 2008 when I started thinking I'm going to start getting some of these Mega Drive games. And this sort of comes into the last question, which is your first YouTube channel you subscribed to. Now, I was watching YouTube for quite a few years without really thinking about the gaming stuff. It was only when I got it out of my mum's loft and was like, oh, I'm going to have a look on YouTube, look up Sega Mega Drive, see what games I missed out on, because I knew there'd be a lot I'd missed out on. And I discovered a channel called Ian Wilson 1978, and it was all about the Mega Drive. And I just loved his enthusiasm when he picked up a game. He was really excited to play it. He'd go into some details about it. He'd perhaps tell you how much it cost, any memories he had of his child of it, and you knew there was a gameplay coming of it soon. And I really enjoyed that. And when I got into YouTube, he'd put quite a lot of videos up, so I probably spent the first 3 or 4 weeks just watching his videos. I didn't even realise there was anything else really, as far as like a gaming community or anything like that. And that's what actually made me create a YouTube channel. No, that's not correct. That's not what made me create a YouTube channel. I already had a YouTube channel. That's what made me subscribe to his channel, because I don't think at the time you could comment without being subscribed or something like that, or maybe I just didn't comment, but either way I ended up subscribing to his channel, so long way about it yet again. It was Ian Wilson. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the Awesome Gamer for asking 5 random questions, and hopefully I'll load some more videos soon.